Rain poured softly over the glowing entrance of the Grand Imperial Hotel, a five-star landmark known for luxury and exclusivity. Guests in designer suits walked through golden doors while valet staff rushed to assist them. No one noticed the quiet man stepping out of a modest taxi across the street. He wore simple clothes, slightly wrinkled, and carried a small leather bag. His eyes, however, were sharp and observant. This man wasn't just a guest. He was the hidden owner of the hotel, Marcus Reed, returning undercover to test the integrity of the empire he had built from nothing. Marcus had spent years building his hotel chain from the ground up. Growing up in poverty, he faced rejection and discrimination at every turn, but he never let it break him. Instead, it fueled his determination. Now, he owned multiple luxury properties across the country. Yet recent complaints about staff behavior and discrimination troubled him deeply. Rather than rely on reports, Marcus decided to see the truth himself. Tonight, he would walk into his own hotel unnoticed. What he would discover would shake him and change everything within the next 15 minutes. As Marcus approached the entrance, the doorman barely glanced at him. His expression shifted instantly. Judgment, then dismissal. "Delivery entrance is around the back," the doorman said coldly. Marcus paused, calmly replying, "I'm here to check in." The doorman scoffed. "Not dressed like that, you're not." Nearby guests stared awkwardly, some whispering. Marcus felt the sting of disrespect, but he stayed composed. This was exactly why he came. Without arguing, he stepped forward, determined to see how far this would go. Every second now was evidence. Inside, the lobby sparkled with chandeliers and marble floors. A receptionist smiled warmly at a wealthy couple, but her expression hardened when Marcus stepped up. "Reservations?" she asked sharply. Marcus gave his name, but she barely checked. "We're fully booked," she snapped, even though empty keys hung behind her. Marcus noticed everything: the tone, the body language, the clear bias. "Are you sure?" he asked calmly. She leaned forward, lowering her voice. "Sir, you're making guests uncomfortable. I suggest you leave before security escorts you out." Before Marcus could respond, a security guard approached, tall, intimidating, and clearly ready to act. "Problem here?" he asked the receptionist. She nodded. "She's refusing to leave." The guard turned to Marcus. "You heard her. Let's go." Marcus stood his ground. "I have every right to be here." The guard smirked. "Not in this hotel." Without warning, he grabbed Marcus's arm. Guests watched, some recording on their phones. Humiliation filled the air, but Marcus didn't resist. He simply said, "You might want to rethink this decision." Outside, the rain had grown heavier. The guard shoved Marcus toward the curb. "Don't come back," he warned. Marcus adjusted his jacket, his face calm, but his eyes cold. Across the street, his driver, who knew his true identity, watched silently. Marcus checked his watch. Exactly 15 minutes. That was all he needed. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. With one call, everything would change. But before dialing, he took one last look at the hotel, the empire he built, now poisoned by arrogance and prejudice. Inside the hotel, the staff laughed about the incident. "People like that always try their luck," the receptionist said. The doorman nodded smugly. None of them knew what was coming. In a private office upstairs, the general manager was reviewing reports when his phone rang. His face turned pale as he listened. "He's here? Are you sure?" he whispered. Seconds later, panic spread through the building. Staff were called urgently. Security froze. The atmosphere shifted from arrogance to fear in an instant. Marcus walked back in, but this time everything was different. The same doors opened quickly, the same staff now trembling. The general manager rushed forward, nearly tripping. "Mr. Reed, we didn't know. It's an honor. Please come inside." Marcus said nothing. His silence was louder than anger. Guests watched in confusion as the man who was just thrown out was now treated like royalty. The receptionist's face drained of color. The guard stepped back, realizing the magnitude of his mistake. Marcus slowly walked through the lobby, observing everyone. "Interesting," he said quietly. 15 minutes ago, I wasn't welcome here." No one spoke. The tension was unbearable. He turned to the manager. "Is this how you treat your guests?" The manager stuttered, unable to respond. Marcus looked at each staff member involved. "You judged me without knowing who I was." His voice remained calm, but carried authority that shook everyone present. This wasn't just disappointment. This was a verdict. "Effective immediately," Marcus said, pulling out official documents. "You are all terminated." Gasps filled the lobby. The receptionist broke down. The guard tried to apologize, but it was too late. Marcus wasn't just punishing them, he was sending a message. "This hotel stands for respect," he said firmly. "If you can't offer that, you don't belong here." Within minutes, HR teams were called and security roles reversed. The same people who enforced power were now powerless. And this was only the beginning.